Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. Today's webinar is called Celebrate National Nutrition Month and National School Breakfast Week. It's part of Action for Healthy Kids Wednesday Wellness webinar series that takes place on the second Wednesday of each month throughout the school year. We're excited to provide you with some strategies today to encourage kids to make healthier food choices at school. My name is Ellen Dillon. I am the Senior Manager of School Breakfast Programs for Action for Healthy Kids, and I'm pleased to be joined today by Grace Perry, who is our Alabama State Coordinator. She's also a registered dietitian and child nutrition director for a small district in Alabama called Pelham City Schools. Today we'll be sharing strategies that will help you celebrate both National Nutrition Month and National School Breakfast Week. Both are coming up in March. Before we get started, just making sure everyone is aware of the logistics for today's call. You can choose to listen on your speakers on your computer or via the telephone, but please know that everyone is muted by default to eliminate any background noise that might be taking place in your school or office. You can submit a question, and we encourage you to do that throughout the webinar. We will pause periodically to answer questions or at the end of the call. The call is being recorded. We will be sending out the recording within 2 business days to you via email. We will also be sending out any other handouts, links to the recording, links to the PowerPoint, links to references that we referenced during the call, and they will be also in that webinar follow-up. All right. So first of all, I want to make sure you know who Action for Healthy Kids is. Who are we? So Action for Healthy Kids is a national nonprofit. We fight childhood obesity, undernourishment, and physical inactivity by helping schools become healthier places. Our vision is a world in which every kid is healthy, active, and ready to learn. Our network is made up of moms, dads, teachers, students, school and community leaders, and school wellness experts who have banded together to create healthier learning environments for our children. We believe that everyone has a part to play in ending the nation's childhood obesity epidemic, and we believe our programs, tools, and resources make that possible. So again, a little bit more about who we are. We were founded in 2002 by former Surgeon General David Satcher. He was the first to coin the phrase childhood obesity epidemic. Today, we have more than 120,000 members. We also have partners with dozens of professional associations, government agencies, and corporations at the national and local level. So why are we targeting schools? Children are everywhere. Why aren't we talking to the healthcare professionals or other people? Well, we target schools for many reasons. Schools reach most children and adolescents in the community, and they spend most of their time there, around 1,200 hours per year. Most importantly, however, healthy kids learn better. For that reason alone, schools should be addressing healthy eating and physical activity. Today, we are talking about eating healthy and eating better. Studies have shown that undernourished children tend to have low energy, are often irritable, and have difficulty concentrating. This affects their academic performance, so anything we can do to improve healthy eating behaviors can have a positive impact on student success. And talking about National Nutrition Month and National School Breakfast Week falls into that. So where is all this coming from? It's coming from Action for Healthy Kids' signature program called Game On. Under Game On, as you can see, it's divided into 6 steps, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. But you'll see under step 4, we have tons of activities, 80 to be exact, and you'll be able to find the National Nutrition Month activity and the National School Breakfast Week activity. So we're talking about the best practices and strategies related to National Nutrition Month and National School Breakfast Week. Many of the ideas that will be shared today are referenced in our signature program, Game On. Game On is a free online program that you can use to practice good nutrition and physical activity habits at school. The program is organized as a 6-step process to building a healthy school. In step 4, Find Activities, there are more than 80 Eat Better and Move More activities and ideas, including celebrate both National Nutrition Month and National School Breakfast Week activities. They include best practices, resources, and creative ideas for how you can implement these strategies and celebrations at your school. We will be sharing a link to Game On, as well as the link to the National Nutrition Month and National School Breakfast Week activities in the follow-up email. Let's go into our agenda for today. So we have certain goals for what we want to help you accomplish today. First of all, at Action for Healthy Kids, we help our members and supporters learn about the issue, take action in your schools, and work to transform your school cultures. Our goal for today's webinar is first to learn. We want you to walk away from the webinar understanding what National Nutrition Month is and National School Breakfast Week is, and their connection to healthy and successful students. Secondly, we want you to be able to act. We hope you'll gather some ideas and strategies from the webinar on how to take action so you can feel comfortable implementing a celebration or incorporating other nutritional education strategies in your school or district. Finally, we want you to transform. We hope that your actions ultimately begin to transform your school's culture for the long term, ensuring every kid in your school is healthy and ready to learn. So, I'm going to pass it over to Grace, who's going to tell us a little bit more about National Nutrition Month. Grace.
Thanks, Ellen. So we're going to discuss National Nutrition Month. This is a nutrition education and information campaign created annually in March by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So the campaign focuses attention on the importance of making informed food choices and developing sound eating and physical activity habits. The theme for 2017 is Put Your Best Foot Forward, which acts as a reminder that each bite counts. So us making small shifts in our food choices can add up over time. So how can we incorporate this into our schools? Well, there's tons of ways, and we're going to discuss some of those ways, and including some of the ones that we'll discuss. The National Nutrition and Dietetics Academy has a toolkit and resources on their website that are available for you to use. So what can we do in your school to celebrate? You can connect with the Child Nutrition Program to see what they might already have planned. This is a great idea. This is something that they may already plan way in advance, and it's something that you can collaborate together with them. And this is not something that's just celebrated in the cafeteria. This is something that can be incorporated into the classroom and school-wide. And to make it even fun, something easy and simple that's fun for the students is to host a taste test. And a lot of schools call these a Tasty Tuesday or just a taste test on a regular day. That's just a fun name to call it if you wanted to do it on a Tuesday. Also recruiting volunteers to assist and specialists to share expertise. So you can find volunteers or health professionals in your community that can assist and volunteer their time to come in and talk to students about healthy living and physical activity or nutrition. And sometimes they can provide fun and no-cost activities for the students as well. And then make food appealing and fun. So this is a picture on the slide of some students trying some fruit flowers, which are different. And you can basically do this with any food. You can do it with a new recipe or a variety of fruits and vegetables that students have never tried. So this is something that would be fun for them to do as well. Another fun activity that I found works quite well is to host a contest. Whether this is a nutrition question of the day and a student or a class can answer it and win a fun prize, or a healthy recipe competition where students submit recipes by class, or just having a class full of students each contribute a recipe, and then whoever wins can have that recipe added to the menu for school. Or a My Plate competition. You can do this by classroom or by student, where you have students create a plate according to the My Plate guidelines, and whoever has the most nutritionally sound plate can win a prize. So those have seemed to work well across schools that I've been in. If available, taking a field trip to a local farm or farmer's market, if that's something that is possible for some schools to take students to do. Coupons for healthy items in the cafeteria. So if you have a new healthy item you're trying to push or to try in this month, maybe offering coupons to the students for them to get a low cost on this item or this item for free. That always seems to get students to want to come in and try something new and healthy. Host a school fair has been something popular that I've seen schools do, where health professionals or even professionals in the school can come together and host a fair, a health fair for all the students. Or an easy and inexpensive one is decorate the cafeteria and offer incentives for trying the healthy items, whether it's just posters and balloons and banners and different prizes they get if they come in and try these new healthy items. That's always a great and easy idea for incorporating National Nutrition Month. So if you're looking for educational strategies within the science subject, school gardens are a great one, incorporating science with growing the plants or the soil, reading food labels, talking about how each individual part of the food label contributes to your body and how that works scientifically. Math, measurements, and conversions of different foods is always a good exercise. Language arts and reading, having a healthy eating story time would fall into that subject area. And then these are some great photos of what some schools have done. As you can see on the far right is an I Tried It sticker. We've tried these in schools and the students absolutely love it, from a kindergarten student to a middle school student. They really enjoy getting these stickers when they try something new. We have a picture of a taste test that was done at a school, and then a science fair where they were incorporating things from a school garden. But these are all great ideas and things that have worked for schools in the past.
Great, Grace. Thank you for sharing. I think one of the things that I find interesting about National Nutrition Month is, and I was talking to someone recently, was that it's not just nowadays do we talk about nutrition in just one month. I mean, we do have this month that's designed to celebrate it, but schools have been using a lot of these strategies all year long, whether it be farm to school, you know, vegetables of the month or fruit of the month, produce of the month, doing a lot of these taste tests. But this is a great way to just start really linking it to something that's really going to be talked about nationwide. National Nutrition Month is not just a school initiative, and I mean we're just talking about how it relates to schools, but it could be related to other things. So being able to know that if your kids are talking about it at school or you're talking about it at school with them, it might also be on the news tonight, or it might be in your local grocery store too. So these are all things that you might find in your community as well. So if you'll hold for a little bit longer, we might have some questions that we'll be able to come your way with. So now I'm going to talk about National School Breakfast Week. So just like National School Breakfast or National Nutrition Month, National School Breakfast Week came out of an organization called School Nutrition Association. So the School Nutrition Association has a toolkit, and this year's theme is Take the School Breakfast Challenge, which is really interesting when we look at the theme for National Nutrition Month with Put Your Best Fork Forward, and being able to kind of maybe create some of those challenges that Grace has shared related to My Plate or other activities, but relating it to breakfast too. So it's a great way to get that kickoff for National Nutrition Month. It is held the first week of March, so it's March 6th through 10th of this year, so just around the corner. But the whole idea is the theme is designed to encourage parents and students and school officials to start their day, start their morning with a healthy breakfast. School breakfast can provide that for families and students. It's convenient, cost-effective, and healthy. Highlighting it during the first week of March is a great way to kick off, as I mentioned, National Nutrition Month. Just like National School Lunch Week in October, this is the perfect time to highlight the wonderful offerings from child nutrition or food services. So many families and parents might not realize all the changes that have taken place in terms of the nutritional value, the regulations, and how things have changed in school food since they were in school. So this is a great way to make it a little bit more family-friendly. Targeting school breakfast is important. It's important because not only do we know that it's the best and the most important meal of the day, but we also know that about half of the children that qualify for free and reduced meals who also eat a school lunch are not eating a school breakfast. So we have a great opportunity to feed more kids, and we can do that through the school breakfast program. Creating a better school breakfast program is important, not only to feeding these hungry students, but it's also important to feeding students who might not normally eat a healthy breakfast for whatever reason. Maybe they're stopping at the corner store and grabbing a bag of chips and a soda, or maybe they're just not having breakfast because they're on the run and they're running out the door and they haven't had that opportunity to have breakfast. So there's lots of reasons why kids don't eat in the morning. And there's lots of reasons why the kids that qualify for free and reduced meals don't eat in the morning. However, doing things to make it more easily accessible and to help reduce the stigma is all good to helping feed more kids, especially at schools that have higher need. Bottom line is that we do want kids to eat, not only just for hunger reasons, but also because it impacts their academics. We know that students who eat a healthy breakfast are more likely to succeed at school. You can't teach a kid who's hungry because they're concentrating on their starving bellies or their hungry bellies. They're visiting the school nurse. They're causing disruption in the classroom. So really, it is important to make sure kids have that opportunity to take part in school breakfast programs. And through National School Breakfast Week, it's a really great time to really highlight some of the great things that might be happening at the school level. One of the things we highly encourage schools to do is to host a family breakfast event. To do that, you could invite families to join students to celebrate at school. So if you're doing breakfast in the classroom or a grab and go, you can have your parents and your family members come and join students, or you can maybe join students in the cafeteria, whatever works best for your school and your school situation. We do highly encourage you to include your community members, your Board of Ed, your local dignitaries. You could do a breakfast with heroes and bring in your police and fire department. You can bring in your high school football team or your high school basketball team to the elementary school, and kids love that, especially if you have a high school team that might be doing extraordinarily well and is well looked upon by all members of the community. You know, having them come in during National School Breakfast Week really isn't much of a hardship, and it really kind of creates that excitement. Share your events with press, because you know what, very seldom do schools and all the things that are happening at the schools, especially in child nutrition, get highlighted in the positive ways that could and should be happening. So be sure to share this with those in your community that can help spread the word. But there are other ways to do this. So if you can't bring the parents to you in the mornings, you could certainly bring the breakfast to the parents. So if your school is hosting a PTA event or is hosting a PTA meeting or having some other parent initiative, maybe it's Meet the Teacher Night, or obviously it's March, so maybe it's report cards time. And so being able to take breakfast taste testing so families can experience what's being offered at breakfast, sharing, maybe you're offering breakfast at no cost for all students, or maybe you want families to know, about some healthy items that you have. It's a great way to share information without it being just another piece of paper that comes home with the kids. But you could also include taste tests, breakfast taste tests during family fitness nights or math nights, or something that might already be taking place. So thinking about what might be happening at your school is a great way to incorporate into National School Breakfast Week and make it a breakfast focused event too. But we talked earlier about the theme of National Nutrition Month. Put your best work forward, and Grace shared about challenges and thinking about the theme for National School Breakfast Week. And you know, you might want to create some class level challenges or classroom challenges, depending upon how many classes you have, as to how many people are participating in breakfast or tried a new food. All of the activities that Grace mentioned during National Nutrition Month could also be incorporated during National School Breakfast Week. Hosting taste tests focused on breakfast is a great way to keep breakfast in the forefront of what's going on at school. And you might also want to be thinking about announcements in the challenges or in the activities that we have for you on Game On's website. You can find lots of different messaging or announcement ideas that you can use at school. So finding ways to share these messages in unique ways is really important as well. So I do want to plug that Action for Healthy Kids does have breakfast and nutrition grants coming available for the 2017 and 18 school year. You can find that we have school breakfast grants from $500 to $3,000, and it's based on what your schools are currently doing and in terms of participation, as well as the type of model you might be working with at your school. And we'll be hosting a webinar in end of the month for breakfast, and then we'll also be hosting a webinar for Game On, which is focusing on nutrition and physical activity initiative. So if you were thinking about, well, how do I pay for a taste test, or how do I incorporate this all year long, you could do that using Game On. But it does require a physical activity component too. So think about what you might want to do at your school and how you can help pay for it through the grants. And you can join us for the webinars to learn more about that. The webinar links will be in the follow-up email that will be sent your way too. So we do encourage you to think about getting nationally recognized. Action for Healthy Kids believes very strongly in the idea of all schools being health-promoting schools. So before we answer any questions and pause for questions, I want to tell you about an opportunity for your school to get nationally recognized for your efforts to improve school and student health. Child nutrition is a key component of the Healthier U.S. Schools Challenge Smarter Lunchroom Initiative. This voluntary initiative was established in 2004 to recognize schools in the National School Lunch and National School Breakfast program that have created healthier school environments through the promotion of nutrition and physical activity. This recognition award lasts for 4 years, and the criteria is specific for 4 levels of recognition: bronze, silver, gold, and gold of distinction. Excuse me. As part of the application, you'll be asked how many Smarter Lunchroom techniques from the Smarter Lunchroom Assessment Scorecard that you might need to complete, as well as what types of nutrition components you're also doing as well. So National School Breakfast Week, National Nutrition Month are all ways that you can highlight some of the things that you're doing at your school. The award level that you will apply for will depend on how many techniques your school is implementing, how many components your school meets, and your breakfast participation. So focusing on school breakfast is important. Each level has a monetary award attached to it, ranging from $500 to $2,000. This funding can be used to continue your efforts, as well as a variety of other school wellness initiatives. Plus, it's a great way to build school spirit, support what we call the learning connection, the fact that healthy students are better learners. And it's a great way to enhance the sustainability of your school health initiatives by garnering support, positive publicity, and of course, additional funding. So think about if you want more information on getting recognized, you can find it under Step 6 of Game On, or you can contact Action for Healthy Kids, and we'll make sure that we follow up and provide you with some resources locally that can help you. So we're going to pause now and ask some of the questions that have come through. Just pause for a minute. So Grace, one of the questions that's come through is where can we find or who can we contact in the community to help us share nutritional education during National Nutrition Month?
Yeah, that's a great question. And there's so many resources and people out there in your community that should be able to help you. I know in the past we've contacted local restaurants or food service operations and had chefs come out. Local businesses, whether they're focused at healthcare or not, are always willing to help participate in some way. Also, you can connect with local, maybe universities in your area, and if they have dietetics programs, usually their interns are always willing to come out and set up a table or a booth, or just have an activity with the classroom focusing on healthy eating or healthy living. So those are some great ones that I've seen. Of course, you have your traditional nurses and dietitians and maybe physicians that are in your community that are always willing to help as well.
Great, thank you. And then we had another question is, how do I find these activities on your website? If you think back to that one slide that showed the blueprint of the school, you can click on any of the rooms, in particular the cafeteria, and it'll come up with all the different activities related to eating better that might be related to the cafeteria. But we will make sure that you have that in your follow-up materials and the links as well so that you can find those activities. And then all of the resources, plus a ton more that we haven't even had time to talk about during this 30 minutes, can be found on those activities as well as the links to the toolkits referenced by Grace and myself from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and the School Nutrition Association. Before we wrap up, I would encourage you, if you haven't already, to consider signing up or following us on some of the social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. You'll find that a lot of activities will be highlighted during the month of March for National Nutrition Month as well as National School Breakfast Week. And you'll also find that throughout the year when there's different events, whether it be Valentine's Day coming up or any other holiday that might be celebrated in a classroom, that there's tons of strategies and activities that could be incorporated into classroom parties to make them healthier, and also ways to fundraise without having to sell candy and items that might not be as healthy. So we really do encourage you to follow us on social media if you aren't already. And that is the end of the webinar. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll look for you next month when we have our March Wellness webinar on the second Wednesday of the month. Have a great day.